All right, gang, as promised, I want to give you a discrete probability distribution. And with frequencies, we're going to show you how to create probabilities and calculate the mean and the standard deviation. So first thing I'm going to do is create the probabilities. Next thing I'm going to do is calculate the mean and standard deviation, which if you look over here, you're going to see that I provided for you. The formulas, they're a little messy, but then in the end of the video, I'm going to show you how to create this stuff being the mean and the variance and the standard deviation very, very, very easily. So let's get to it. First thing I'd want to do is calculate the probability. So this is what I would call an empirical probability distribution. So we actually have collected data, and there are counts on something, whatever it may be. 0 occurred 12 times. A count of 1 was observed 15 times. A count of 2 was observed 35 times, and so on. So to calculate the probability, what I would do, well, I think the first thing I'd want to do is I'd want to add up the frequencies. So I want to know, what the sum is. So take the frequency, add up the sum, and I see that there are 128 observations. So I'm going to write that down. So to get the probability, I'm going to go to data. I'm going to go to compute. I'm going to go to expression. So I'm going to build an expression. So my expression will be that I'm going to take my frequency, the number in the frequency, and I'm going to divide that by 128. All right, easy as that. Click OK. I'm going to create a column label here of P of X for the probability, obvious reasons. And we get our probabilities, right? Now, I told you in the previous video that a legitimate probability distribution will have a sum of probabilities equal to 1. So let's just check that out. So go to column, let's go to P of X, scroll down to sum, and we should have something very close to 1. And we get exactly 1. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to build the mean. So I'm going to focus on this part first. So what I need to do here is I need to be able to take my X values, which are the counts, times the probability, which I have stored in the third column. All right, so let's just build it. So again, go to data, go to compute, build an expression. So I need to take my count and multiply it by the probability. Click OK. Let's just call this the mean, because that's what we're building. Now, I need the sum of that. So that's what we did right here. So now I need to take the sum of those counts. So we should know how to do that now. Very easy. So the sum is 2.32. All right, extremely doable, right? And I'm even going to show you an easier way in the very end. Now the variance is a little tougher. The variance we have to build a little more carefully. So nevertheless, let's go to data, compute, build an expression. And what I need to do here is I need to, first of all, I need to take my x's, which are my counts, minus the mean that we just found, raise that to the, couldn't find it, second power, and multiply by the probability. So let's think about it. There is our x minus our mean, raised to the second power, times the probability of x. Again, x minus the mean, raised to the second power, times the probability of x. All right, so let's select OK. Let's just call this the variance, because that's what we're building. So those are these values. But what do I need to do with that? Well, I need to sum it up. So quiet. So the variance is 1.23333. So let's just call that the variance is 1.233. So to get the standard deviation, I need to take the square root of the variance. So I just grab my calculator here. If you want to do this in StackCrunch, you could. I wouldn't. I would just grab a calculator if I can get it working. So 1.233. And you can see I get a standard deviation of 1.11. Now, again, mean of 2.32, standard deviation of 1.11. You have to admit it's not that hard to do this by building expressions, but there's actually an easier way. So if I go to calculator and come down to custom, and my values are in my counts, and my weights are in my probability, I'm not going to build anything, and I can hit compute, and I get this really cool bar chart, if you will. So I get the probabilities of each of the, for 0, I can see that the probability of 0 is like 0.09, so it goes almost up to 0.1. The probability of 1 is 0.117, so you can see it goes up to correspond with 0.117. But the cool part of this is this. You get your mean at 2.32, much easier than what we did by building the function, and we get our standard deviation of 1.11. Now, if we get into a situation, and you probably will, where we need to calculate a probability, so let's say we get into a problem where we need to calculate what's the probability of getting, 3 or less. Well, then we would have less than or equal to 3. Probability would be 0.89. So pretty cool feature in StackCrunch that makes finding the mean, the standard deviation, and of course, if you wanted the variance, you would just have to take this value and square it. Which I did right there, and you can see we get 1.2333333. All right, gang, all I got. Take care.